Hello again, my name's Gabe Zolna. Just received a rather interesting little video. I'll attach the link. You're not going to have to look for it. Remember Steven Gern? Steven Gern is a retired Marine. And his video that he posted went viral. 44 million views in a few days. And he talked about his discussion with some folks in country. And he asked them, could I go for a night on the town in your city? And this was in Afghanistan. He was advised not to. When he asked why, he said, well, you'd be tortured, you'd be killed, you'd be beheaded. That's why. And then he said, well, if that's what would happen to me in your country, why should I invite you to my country? Well, it appears in this latest video with retired Marine Steven Gern, he's received a series of death threats, but he's safe and sound. Well, he's not alone. I've received a series of death threats as well. I've actually posted some of them. It's to be expected whenever you speak out, especially if you speak the truth, and if the truth hurts those that don't want the truth revealed, you might find yourself in the same position that Steven Gern's found himself, and the same position I've found myself, receiving death threats. It's not a surprise. And if you listen to what Steven Gern says, it all makes perfect sense. We're spending billions of dollars. He asks why. And he asks who benefits from it. Well, you've heard me explain countless times that America is a warring nation, and it continually fuels the industrial military complex. That's what these wars are always about. That's what these wars have always been about. You know, if you've heard me talk about Pearl Harbor, and I had said that we had known a large swarm of aircraft were approaching, and it was relayed to an individual who felt that, well, not a big deal, because they're expecting a squadron or a flight of B-17s. I believe they were B-17s. But here's the problem. B-17s would have come from the West. The Japanese attacking aircraft were coming from the East. The East is open ocean from Japan. The West is from America. So it doesn't take a genius to realize that if the swarm of aircraft spotted were coming from the East, they weren't the American B-17s coming from the West. Make sense? The Second World War, I believe, could have been prevented. 9/11 could have been prevented. Saudi Arabia had nothing to do with 9/11. If you've watched my videos on 9/11, you know why. Steven Gern will hopefully provide additional insight, as he alluded that he intends to do so. It's a corrupt, twisted, evil government. We allowed it to become what it is by re-electing these dirtbags over and over and over again. If Donald Trump, President Trump, implements drug testing, it'll go a long way to clear out the swamp. And he needs to bring about term limits, not just for new representatives, but all those that have had more than 2 terms can't run again. If those programs aren't put into place, it'll be the same old, same old. We went into Vietnam because of the Bay of Tonga incident. Again, I believe, created by our governments. You're entitled to think whatever you like, as am I. Thanks for listening.